Hey folks, welcome to the village. Early fall day here in Nebraska. Really nice weather, probably about 76 out here, sunny, a little light breeze, low humidity in the 20% range. Gonna be out here at the shed today working again. I don't know if you follow the channel or anything, but you've probably worked. We've been out here working on the shed here, the switch it around and doing like the shutters up here that we did. And we did all this wood down along the bottom here and closing up the shed. Just to make it look better, and two things, a little vermin control. So that being said, that's just two sides of the shed. The real fun stuff to do is going to be this part of the shed, the rear, where there's not a lot of space. I don't know how good you can see, that's pretty dark, but it's pretty tight back here. So we're going to get some hardware cloth and bring it out here. I'll bring a light out here and put it out so you can see it a little bit better. And we're going to start cutting that hardware cloth to size, and then just like we did the wood down here, it's just going to be attached up here at the top with some staples. We'll hit them with the pneumatic stapler along here and staple it on. We'll make it like an L shape. I'll show you, so we can dig. I'm going to dig a little like low spot, like trough like thing, so we can make the bottom part of the L. It'll come down like this and then come back out this way about 4 inches. So we're going to dig a low spot there, put that in, then we can backfill with a little dirt or something. That way anything can't like dig underneath to get underneath the shed, any little rodents and so forth. So let me go get my light. We'll put that on there. We'll get back here and see how much fun we're going to have digging this little area back here. I don't know how well you see this. Got a little light here. It's really dark behind the shed, not a lot of space. Again, we've been in the drought like a lot of people have in the Midwest, the Plains area. So I had about as much rain as the Death Valley in probably the last 2 months, and this clay soil gets really rock hard. It's pretty close to concrete or billet steel in consistency, so not the easiest thing to do. So what I've done, I've gone back through here with a shovel and kind of worked along this line down, straight down from the edge here, so we can loosen it up a little bit. We're going to take the metal rake and just kind of come back through and just work to kind of loosen it up, just to make an area where we can take, like I said, that hardwood cloth will go down. We're going to have an L shape about 4 inches come out. So we're going to put that against the ground. We'll backfill it with some of this dirt we're scraping out just to cover it up. That way it'll just pack itself down and keep that down. We'll just tack that up here with some staples with the pneumatic stapler along the edge. And that should be pretty secure. We'll maybe put a couple along the edge of the board down at the end here. But we're just going to work here with the metal rake and see if we get this kind of scratched out a little bit, so it's kind of, not have to be that much lower, another ½ inch, 3/4 inch below the edge. And that giving us, we can backfill it a little bit and cover it up and keep it in place. So I'm going to go ahead and continue raking on this to get this set up so we can do that. We'll come back and show you the progress here if we haven't passed out. So thanks for joining, folks. Okay, you kind of see what we're working with back here. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's kind of what the ground is like back here. So we're just trying to work and make this little trunk through here. Now that the ground hard as concrete, you have the nylon netting that back the sod that used to be here, so you kind of got to dig through that too. So but just working, trying to break up this concrete, aka soil, and just keep digging that little trench is all I'm doing back here, and fighting that nylon. Smooth the dirt away, and that'll give us that little area directly down from here. So our material is going to go down, and then it's going to come out here like 4 inches on that little L shape. And again, we're just going to tack it along here, just get it secure up here. Probably take it and tie it to the other end and stretch it when we do it, so it's nice and tight against, from end to end. We'll see when we get there. I'm going to work on this a little bit more, get this good. Then we're going to pull out the material, and we'll show you how we're going to cut that material and create that L-shaped bend in it. And then we'll come back here with the stapler and we'll try to get this tacked up and see how it looks. Okay folks, this is what we're working with today. This is your basic ½ inch hardware cloth. So it's just ½ inch squares. This is 2 foot up and down across here. You know what I did? I just lay it out, roll it out, so the bend is down. I just spread it out like you see here, and then I just take and walk along it and try to take some of this bend you see in it, which isn't nearly impossible. Just try to get as much as you can out. Like I said, once we put it up and tack it along the top, we're going to stretch it out again, so it'll help with some of that bend in it. We'll be putting it up with the pneumatic stapler. Probably be running it, I don't know, probably about 50 psi. And we're going to use the 1/2 inch staples, 12 millimeter, to put them up. And that's just going to be tacked along the top. So got this measured out to length. Now we got to take and cut it our distance to, I'm going to go back and measure it. It's going to be odd because it's going to be at an angle. I might just cut it straight and just tackle it and make the bottom part of it just uneven. It'll be buried, so you won't have to mess with it, just to make it easier. So let me go take that measurement. We'll see what we're going to measure here so we know what to cut. We'll just cut it from the back side, which is going to be the front side, which is going to be the right side of the building, and make that measurement, and then we'll take and line it out here and see how we're going to cut this. So that's what we got going on. We'll be back in a sec. Okay, so now I have my material back in here. Kind of made it like a U shape, brought it in there, kind of stretched it out the other end. I was going to stretch it, but I think I'm just going to work down the way. I don't think I can really pull it such a length to really stretch it to make it any difference. So I've tacked it up here, and I've tacked it back on the back of here. I put a little piece in there just to have an attachment point. But now I'm just going to make sure it's even along the edge here, and I'm going to start tacking it down there with the staples. Fortunately, it's kind of tight in here and it's kind of dark, so let's see if we can do this and see it with the hose and everything. So again, just going to come in here because this wants to pull out down here, unfortunately, when I stretch it. So I'm just going to try to square it up as best as possible. There we go. Keep my foot on it. I'm just going to tack it right along here. I think once we get it attached along the edge up here fairly evenly, I think we can just come back and then use like a foot or something, or a piece of board or something, and maybe press this back down to create that little bend in the material down here. But all I'm going to do now is just kind of eye it up like this, pull it a little bit, easy enough for me to say. Need like a third hand. Just come back and hit it with the staples just as I work along. Again, 1/2 inch crown staples. That's it. Just keep working your way back down. Try to pull it as much as you can to stretch it out. And do yourself a favor with a pair of gloves, because this stuff will shred you up like you're working with razor blades, especially any place where you make the cuts. I think it's going to work out pretty good. Like I said, when I even come back and make this really, yeah, I think we will come back and we'll just come back and work the material like this, and then we'll just press it back down to the ground. We'll backfill it in here with some dirt to keep it pressed down into the ground, and I think that should work really good. Yeah, not real convenient back here because we're working with about 25-30 inches of space back here maximum at this end. Yeah, I think that's what I'm just gonna do. Just keep working this. And again, because this end is higher, I mean, this has got a greater spacing, it reduces because of the slope going uphill. It's going to be greater and greater this way. I was going to try to cut the cut in an angle, figure that wasn't worth it because this is all going to be buried under here. It doesn't matter, as long as we get this fairly straight here and tacked up here solidly. I'm not going to worry about this being shorter and that being longer down there. As long as we got some down and sticking out, you know, coming down and out, we'll backfill it, and that's going to just keep the vermin and stuff, rodents, from having an easy way to get in there to dig under, which they will do. So again, while we're doing this, just come back in here. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep nailing this down. I'll get about halfway here and we'll come back and see what we got going on and see how everything's working out. But I think this is going to work just fine. Not totally even there. Material I got kinked a little bit, doesn't matter. Again, it's on the back side. It's not a visual thing, it's just a functional thing out here to just keep the animals out. So we'll come back a little bit and see how we're doing. Okay, you can see, folks, I got all the material in place. As you can see, the amount of width I've had to work with room-wise. This area down here closest to me is about 24 inches down there, probably closer to about 18, 16 inches. This would be fairly easy to do if it was open, didn't hit this little bit of area. All I can say is a pain in the ass. It didn't come out too bad. You kind of see it down there. It's kind of tough. It's just not a lot of light back here. My light only cast it so far. But you see, we got it tacked up there pretty good. Kind of down here, it kind of got bunched up a little bit. So just kind of, you know, level it out, staple it. As you see further down here, same thing. But I think overall came out pretty decent for what I had to work with. And now I'll take this and I'm going to take and backfill all this dirt you see off to the side that I moved out. It's just going to come back like this and press this back up against. We'll take and kind of press this down a little bit and then backfill it. And I think I should do the job. I got to do the same thing to the other end down here. But that's pretty much it. Again, it just, the function of it is just to keep, not to make it look good, it's just to keep the vermin from going in and out. And once you seal the other end, that'll alleviate that problem. You just don't want anything getting under there that could damage the building or something, or, you know, set up shop, and that could just be a mess. So that's what we got going here today. I'm not contemplating if I'm going to finish this up next week or finish that end part. Just a little, this took me about double the time I thought it would do. Again, it's just 1/2 inch hardware cloth, so it's 1/2 inch squares, and it's just tacked up with 1/2 inch staples with the pneumatic stapler all along the edge here. Pretty simple to do. Just I cut it with, I took a Dremel and cut it with a blade to cut it, the longer cut, faster. You can cut it with, you know, 10 snips, diagonal cutters, whatever you want to do. If you got the little hydraulic shears, nice things too. I don't have those, but just different ways you can do it. So that's pretty much what we got for this today. Pretty simple little project to do. Yeah, and if you like watching what we do out here at the village, you know, hit the like button if you like the video. If you want to subscribe to the channel and see more things like this, we got some other things. We're going to do some steps on the front of this thing too. We'll do maybe the next couple weeks or something, depending on the weather and what we got going on. Subscribe, and then you can hit the notifications, and it'll tell you when we post new stuff, so you don't have to look all the time. It'll just give you, you know, an update, say, hey, there's something posted, so you can go out and check us out. Again, down below, if you got any suggestions or questions or anything like that, put those down below here, share information and learn from each other. Yeah, so that's about it. So I'm going to get back in here and backfill this in, and I'm going to call this done for the day, I think is what we're going to come up to. So thanks for tuning in, folks. If you have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks. All right, folks, I decided I would go ahead and add just this little clip showing the completed all the way around. This is the end of the shed, but I didn't show the completion part of it. It's really not much to see because it's pretty short, as you can see along there. Just like you can see where we just went back and backfilled it. So now, you know, it's not really so much about aesthetics, it's just more functionality. So it might be perfect, but it's solidly on there. It's gonna keep all the little rodents and everything from trying to get underneath there and cause any problems. And then this back around the corner, you'll see this, it's pretty dark, but you can see that all the way through there, all backfilled now. All the material all stapled up along that edge there. So I just wanted to go back and show this and see what it looked like completed. Now it's totally sealed around, so I'm not gonna worry about anything getting under there. Next thing we'll be doing is adding those steps on the front, so watch for that coming up pretty soon, and we'll build that little set of steps for the front. Thanks for joining, folks. Have a good day.